All right, Mr. Miyagi-Style. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It's almost a weekend. I want to do a short segment here. It's not going to be long. I don't think it will be. I always say that, and it's always long. A few things. If you look at the cover here, I've been doing a lot of videos and a lot of vlogging. Well, not vlogging, but like this kind of videos where I've been kind of struggling with my camera. I have the Sony A6300. I also have the Sony A6000 as well. These are the APS-C sensors. They're not the full frame. The full frame is the A7 series. I would love to have that. I just can't justify spending, $1,500, $2,000 just for the body. These ones cost me enough. But I love it. I don't do enough of this kind of photography anymore that I can justify buying a full frame. I would love to have it. But anyways, that's besides the case. I love this because I ended up getting a Sigma lens, portrait lens for this camera. And as you can see, the portrait lens is just, let me turn on the light here. I've got a Sigma portrait lens for this thing. And best investment I ever made. The portrait lens was about $400, $500, and it's gorgeous. If you look at the quality, it does the bokeh effect right off the bat in the back, and it's just a beautiful lens. So I've been using this setup to do my videos here. Now I ran into some problems, and you guys have probably seen this in my video. The 6300 is 4K, maximum 30 frames per second only. Now the problem with the A6300 is that it's very limited in terms of the length of the video that you can take at a time, and it has overheating issues when it's shooting 4K. Fixed the overheating issue with the 6400, so it doesn't have the overheating issue anymore, and they also took out the time limit for the duration of 4K shooting. It's no longer limited to only 30 minutes, which is what these are set to, which kind of sucks because I can only shoot 30, and so for a vlogging type of camera, you can't really use it because it cuts out after 30 minutes. And I had that happen. I was going ranting my usual stuff, and I didn't realize that it had shut, and it doesn't tell you that like you can't. That's one thing I hate about this camera. It doesn't tell you it's recording. It just shut off, and it doesn't tell you it shuts off, right? I think it makes like a little tone, but you can barely hear it. I took a video of the setup that I have on here, and you'll see, and I kind of explain what I've done with the camera itself. So I've managed to do some DIY. I did some research last night, and I found a couple things that were amazing that was really useful for this setup, and I almost pulled the trigger on the ZV-E10, which is the upgrade, well, not really an upgrade, which is the Alpha series, but it's a kind of a different category. It's got a ton of options, and I might look into it later on in the future, but honestly, for the price, it's I think Canadian here is about $800 plus taxes, which is going to be $1,000, right? Just for the body or just a small lens on it. And you can use the same lens that I have now. It's the only reason why I would look at it, because it does use the same E-mount lens. Now, the nice thing about the ZV-E10 is that the Sony, it's designed as a vlogger. It's got the flip out screen that flips out, and you can actually see what you're doing. It's a touch screen, has better low light shooting, unlimited 4K. It's even got a gyro in it, so you can actually vlog with it with your hand, and actually it's like an action cam. It has image stabilizer, which is kind of cool, which I'm not gonna take this out. If I'm gonna vlog, I'm gonna take my action camera out. I've got a million action cameras that I can use to vlog with, and I'm not high-end content creator. I don't need superb image quality. That said, with the limitations of the 6300, I had a lot of problems. It was overheating, it was shutting off. I only had 30 minutes of shooting time, and I had to. It was just a mess. So I was going through YouTube, and I found some DIY in terms of how to keep your camera cool while you're shooting 4K, which is great. The first DIY was using ice packs. Believe it or not, you buy these little tiny hand ice gel packs, and you freeze it, and then you put it in a Ziploc bag, and you put it in between the body and where the screen articulates out, and you keep it cool. Well, the problem with that is the condensation was creating moisture on the outside, and I was getting like you know, some moisture on the camera itself. Now the 6300 is weather sealed, so it's not too bad. The only that's the problem with the ZVE10 is that it is not weather sealed. It's a kind of a cheaper plastic body as opposed, because you're comparing that with the 6400. The 6400 is more of a professional level, whereas the ZVE10 is more kind of like the vlogging content creator camera. Has really good features, but again, $800 price point here. I almost bought it, almost bought it. I was so close to buying that camera. I'm like, well, I can't spend $1,000 and just do vlogging, because that's the only reason I would use. I have two 6000 series. The ZVE10, I'm spending extra money just for vlogging. I don't do it that professional level that I would spend that kind of money to do it. So I'm like humming and hawing. So I was looking at, I'll go back to the cooling. So the first cooling was with the gel packs. It worked kind of, but it kept slipping out. It was getting wet and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, this is brutal. So I kept looking, and then people were creating fans. They were making fans out of, and you'll see in the video that I took with my my phone. It's taking two 40mm fans, and basically I created some pegs, 3D printed, and joined them together. And it's just enough room to slip it in between the screen and the body, and have the fan blowing directly into the body. And it worked. Like it keeps the camera cool. And I had this thing running for an hour. It wasn't even heated or anything. That's not another problem. As you can see in the video, I think you can see it, you can hear it. It's really loud, like the fan noise. There's no fan quiet enough because the microphone is right there on top of the camera. So that noise is just amplified, and then I'm like, oh, this is brutal. So I can't win either way. So if I have that camera running, it's running cool for 30 minutes, but I had to figure out a way to get clear sound in there, or you have that plane engine running in the background. So what I did was I thought about the DJI mic. I have the DJI 2 mic, which is right here. And it's an independent mic. I can just hit record, just record it, and then it just downloads as a WAV file. So what I was doing was I was recording, and then I was recording on the DJI. And every time I did this, you know, Mr.MiyagiStyle, I would sync it from the clap on. So there was a bit of work. I had to take the video, take out the sound of the camera video because of the fan noise, and then I would sync the DJI into the video of the A6300. It's a little tedious. It's a bit more work. The problem with that is if you get into issues where I'm doing segments of videos, not just one big long video chunk. If I'm doing segments, the syncing would be a lot more work, because then I have to sync. I have to find audio from here, and then I would have like 3 or 4 different audios, 3 or 4 different videos, and I would have to take them and sync them all together, right? And that was becoming a real pain in the butt. It was driving me nuts, and I hate syncing audio and video because it's so precise, unless you're using time codes and stuff like that, which I don't have, right, on this camera. That was like, that's another problem, right? The fan thing was taken care of. And I had to think, okay, wait a minute. How am I going to do this a little bit easier? When I was looking at the DJI Mic 2, you could buy the whole kit that comes with a transceiver and the charging base and everything, with the extra mic, like 2 mics, the transceiver, the box, the charging case. Here it's it's $350. I'm like, I could buy a new camera for that price. That's ridiculous, man. I'm like, I'm not spending that kind of money for just to get sound. I'll deal with syncing and deal with the headache, right? And I was looking at YouTube. I'm always looking at YouTube videos and looking at reviews of not just cameras, other stuff too. And I stumbled on this particular wireless mic by Neewer. Now, the cool thing about this particular mic system that I saw was everybody seemed to give it a good review. Like everybody who had this, it's a rebranded, so there's like 2 or 3 different versions of this, or different names, but it's the exact same thing. I think the company Fujion makes one, X5, and then Neewer makes it's called the CM28, and there's another brand too, another name, but it's the same thing. It's just rebranded, right? Like many stuff made from China, it comes from the same factory. They just stamp it with their brand and just sell it accordingly, right? But consistently, even the different brands, they all had good reviews. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. And what really attracted me was the price, right? And I looked at on Amazon Canada, and a Prime member, I actually got it yesterday or 2 days ago. I looked at it, it was like $149 for the whole thing. Like the case, 2 mics, the transceiver, and a bunch of accessories that comes with it. It even comes with the little adapters for like the lightning port and the Android phone, so you can plug it directly, the receiver directly into the transmitter, sorry, directly into the phones. And I thought that was kind of cool, right? And I looked at the price, it was I think it was $149 or $139 or something like that, Canadian. And I had there was a $30 coupon. So it was on sale, so 30 bucks off. So it was like 109 bucks for this whole kit. I'm like, 109 bucks, the same kit with the same 2 mics, the transmitter and the accessory. Actually, this one comes with more accessories than the DJI did. The DJI was $350, and this was $100, $110. And I thought, well, holy cow, that's like $250 difference, right? So I okay, all these good reviews, we're back to this whole review thing. It's a bias, it's a BS, blah 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 blah. And I'm going by these reviewers. So I actually bought the mic because I know Amazon Prime, they have a pretty good return. If I don't like it, I can always return it, which I've done before. And I got the mic and I opened it up. Like the box is like, it's really nice. Like it didn't come in a plastic bag. It's a nice box. And the case itself is, I don't know if you can see this. It's really nice. Like I don't have the DJI one, and some people say the DJI one's built a little bit nicer. The materials one, I think this is built pretty nice. It's heavy. It's good battery. It has the compartments for the 3 devices, the sender and the 2 mics, the transmitter and 2 mics. It has little slots that you can put those adapters in for your phones. It just sits right in here. And it's once you put it in charge, once you pull it, it turns on, automatically connects the 2 mics into the transmitter, which is really cool. So I have had no issues with connection between the two. The sound is actually, I tested the sound, it's actually really good. In some areas, I actually like the sound better than my DJI mic. I find the DJI mic, now granted I don't have the transmitter, so it's a little bit better I think if you have the transmitter. But a standalone mic, these ones are standalone mics. These are 4 gig. I think this is 8 gig internal. But 4 gig gets you hours, right, on this mic. So I can use it as an independent mic without the transmitter and then just download it as a WAV file, just like I can with the DJI 2, or Mic 2. Now I downloaded I did 2 independent recordings just by the mics themselves without using a transmitter. And I downloaded both WAV files. The Neewer actually sounds a little bit crispier and louder. I find the DJI really soft and really low, which is really strange. You think, like, the mic is really nice. Is it because it's independent? That's why it's not as high volume. Like this one, the volume is really good. I have to crank the volume up when I'm playing this to hear it. It seems really soft to me. Maybe there's no settings to change volume on the mic. Right, I think you have to do it post. But anyways, for the price, I'm not gonna complain, guys. Like I bought this thing; it was $100, $109 plus taxes. And then I bought the 2 fans, was $2 or it's $10 for 2 fans, and I had an extra power bank kicking around. I have tons of power banks, right? And this one has the 2 slot and works really well with the fans. So the whole total was about $120, $130, let's say, with the taxes. All right, guys, I'm just going to show you a quick setup of what I've got going on here. So this seems to be working, and you'll hear why the CM28 is kind of useful. Can you guys hear it? I don't know if you guys can hear the fan. So it doesn't matter how quiet the fan is, it's going to make noise, and that mic is sitting right there. It's going to pick up that noise for the fan. So that's why the mic comes in handy. Now, this setup is actually, I really love this camera. and it just, unfortunately, there's a lot of limitations to this camera, and I'll show you some some workarounds for this camera. If you already have this, it works with the Alpha series, all the Sony. I love the Sony mirrorless series. So the Alpha 6000, the 6100, this is the 6300, the 6400 as well, and keeps going up. I've had this camera for about 5-6 years now. The photo that comes out of this thing is just phenomenal. So I've got a cage on there with a printed grip, and you'll see I printed this little mount that mounts onto the cage. It's a 1/4 inch mount. It holds it. Actually, the receiver just clips right in like that, and it works really well. And it works with a DJI mic as well. And I've got here. So this is the white part is at the power plug. The black part is obviously the mic into the mic jack in the back. So you'll see this one has the articulating screen. Okay, but it doesn't flip up. It just goes out and it goes an angle. It's kind of silly. I think it's more. You can look down on it. It doesn't flip all the way up, so it's not really a vlogging camera. And you'll see the DIY fan. I'll explain that in the video as well. I just want to show you guys what the setup is. So the white plug is actually plugged into the bottom into a nut plug, so it keeps the A6300 powered. And then the fans are actually, I bought these fans off Amazon, and they're cheap. They're like $10 for the two. And it's actually, somebody had, I've got the video where they DIY this, and I'll drop the links at the bottom. There's a couple links that are very important for this setup, for these cameras here, the Alpha series cameras. And the cable goes in. I just merge the cables together. It's two fans, and each fan already has a USB made. The guy who DIY'd it actually took a regular, like a Raspberry fan or a case fan, and he spliced it and took extra. You can buy these like these now with the USB-A on them. So I got it plugged into a cheap power bank with 2 plugs on it that I had kicking around and I never used, and it takes very little power. Like I've had this running for a while, and it's still at 3 notches on the power. So this works really well. And I had this running last night for about an hour, close to an hour, and it didn't even heat up. Like this thing, when it runs about 10 minutes, it starts to heat up really bad, the body, when it's running 4K. You can do 1080p, which is not as bad, but I prefer the 4K. The quality is so much better. Anyways, I'm going to drop back to the video, and then I will take it from there, and I'll explain the rest of it. For 130 bucks, I'll say, with the fan, the mic, and everything, I managed to solve the sound problem, because now I'm recording right now. I'm doing the fan is on the camera, and it's recording me, and I'm using the mic, and you'll see the transmitter sitting on top, and it sounds perfect. Like you don't hear the fan, nothing. It's just like you're using a mic. So that worked. That I solved the sound problem with the fan and the noise. The other thing with this is, when you get this, I don't think DJI comes with this much stuff. When you get this is really cool. You get the 2 dead cats for the 2 mics, and it just goes in, twists on. I haven't tested the dead cats yet. I've only had it for a couple days. You get the USB cable for charging. You get another USB cable. I don't know why they give you 2 USB cables. They have labels on them. Type C, yeah, you get 2 Type C cable, but one has a L shape, which is really cool. I love these. These are so amazing. You know, they don't stick out. So, and these are just universal USB cables, and it comes with the 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter from the transmitter to the camera. That cable comes with it. It comes with 2 external mics, which I don't think the DJI kit comes with. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have it, so I don't know. But I was actually going to buy one of these and for my DJI, so it can have that closer up. Maybe because it's so far away that I get that kind of a soft noise sound. And I actually use this mic, and it actually sounds better when I plug this mic in and have the external mic on it. So it does work with the DJI, and it comes with the mic, which is really cool. I haven't really had to use it with this, and this one's neat. I can adjust the volume on the actual transceiver itself. You can see that it's not a touchscreen like the DJI. The DJI is a touchscreen. The Neewer is not a touchscreen. Now, the neat thing about the Neewer is that there's this LED screen that shows you, I think, the connection, the level of connection, the volume of each mic, and which mic is connected. I think there's a couple other features on there, but it's good enough for what I'm doing. And the other thing that this has that the DJI doesn't have, this one has a true noise canceling. I don't think the DJI, somebody was doing a review of the two, the DJI Mic 2 and this one. They're saying that surprisingly for the price, this one has true noise canceling, whereas the DJI doesn't. And it actually works pretty good. You actually test it, it works really good. But noise canceling is noise canceling, right? You do lose a bit of quality when it comes to noise canceling. So, but it does work. And I don't believe that the Mic 2 has it. I could be wrong, guys, but that's just a review. I'm not going to get into too many technical aspects of this, because this mic's been out for a while, and there's tons of reviews out there that gets into more details about this particular mic system. I think the other brand of the other brand name is Fujion X5. They're the same, it's just branded differently. So if you see that, it's the same thing, right? You get a nice bag with this, nice, you know, for the case itself, goes right in, and nice thick manual that explains everything. It's not like a piece of paper like most Chinese brands. You get an actual, it's a manual. What? Who reads this? I actually read it, believe it or not. But cool. So that solves the heat problem. So that solves the sound problem. So I got those taken care of. Now, here's the other problem. Last but not least, the limitation of recording time. The 6300 only records, I think the 6100, 6300, which are 4K, they only record 29 minutes, 29.9 minutes. It's just shy of 30 minutes, okay? So I was searching around, I go, oh man, wouldn't that be great if there was a way to overcome that 30 minutes and I don't have to worry about it. As long as you keep your camera cool, it's never gonna shut down, because it does shut down if it overheats, and it's done that a few times on me already, many times actually. But now with the fan, it doesn't shut down. So I'm running this I'm probably gonna be going over half an hour with this segment. So I was looking, I'm gonna drop two links down the bottom that are very important. If you have this camera kicking around, you're kind of peeved that you can't use it for vlogging, you can't really shoot video with it, this might overcome that, because this whole setup just saved me almost $1,000. Okay, the mic, and I can use this for other things too. I can use this for my action camera, I can use this for my phone, I can use this for any camera or anything that will take a wireless USB mic with it. So that's useful for me, or any other camera that does mic. So it's not just for this setup. I can use this outside of this particular vlogging setup. The other thing, does this one, I can use it for this one too. Does this one have? Yeah, hold on. Oh, this one doesn't have a mic. The 6000 doesn't have a mic jack. Boo. This is my first camera. It was a 6000. Still a great camera. I have a bigger lens on it. I've got like 6 lenses for the E-mount lenses, and for the size, this is the thing I used to carry around my travel. Like I used to own a Nikon SLR. I used to own a Canon SLR, and they're like these big honking things, right? But now, ever since I bought this camera, I'll never go back. My next camera, if I can justify it, you know, if I start making money again or whatever, I would buy the full frame, which is the A7 or the A9. The A9 is $5,000. Do I need it? No. I don't shoot professional photography anymore, so I'm retired from that stuff. Anyways, so I was looking around the internet last night, and I was just searching and searching, and I love the internet. It's amazing what you can find on the internet. So I guess this has been out for a while, because I never really thought about it. I never really concentrated on it. And there's apparently a guy who found a way to circumvent the 30-minute shooting time on the Alpha series, the 6300. They took that limitation out in the 6400. So the 6400 could shoot unlimited time, well, as far as your SD card will take, right? But the 6300 doesn't matter, because half an hour is half an hour. It just shuts off in half an hour after it shoots. And they even tell you it shuts off, which is the stupidest thing. So you have to download this piece of open source software. So the Alpha series can run apps on the camera itself. Okay. You can actually download different apps to do like effects and stuff like that. It's one of the first cameras that came out that can actually do stuff like that. Don't forget the Alpha series came out quite a long time ago. I would say probably, oh gosh, it's gotta be 10 years. This has been at least 10 years, right? And 10 years ago, this was so advanced, so innovative. Now the new ones are even better. But a lot of professionals have moved to mirrorless, right? They moved to the A7, the A9 series, and I would love to get into that kind of stuff. I love cameras. I don't care. My dad's the same. I'm like my dad. He was a big camera buff. Anyways, back to this. I'm deviating. So this guy, I don't know if he did it or not, but he found a piece of software that was open source that when you have to run it on your computer, and you plug it into the camera, the computer to camera, and connect the camera to computer, and you set it to MTP settings. And this particular app will identify your camera. If it identifies your camera, you can actually go in and install an app, right? It's like a hack. And when you install the app, you can bring it up on the camera and run the app, and it'll give you options. And one of the options is to override the 30-minute limit of the camera. So, so I tried it last night. I'm gonna try with the 6. I haven't tried with it. Apparently, it's supposed to work with the 6000, so I'm gonna do it with the 6000 as well. I don't really need. I don't do video, and the 6000 doesn't do 4K, so it's kind of redundant. It probably won't overheat as bad as this one will. It took me 5 minutes, and I deactivated the 30-minute limit on this camera, and then I ran it, and I put the fan on, the mic on, and I sat here, and I just had this thing on record, and it ran for about, I think, just a little over an hour. No problems. It didn't overheat. It didn't shut off. It didn't have the half an hour limit. So I'm like, oh, saved. So I didn't have to go out and buy the ZV-10 after all. I would love to have it, but I think I would rather invest my money into something like the A7 series. I would love to pick up a used A7 series because I already have 2 APS-C sensors, crop sensors. There's no reason for me to buy a third one. Now the ZV-E10 comes in a full frame sensor as well, but it's like $3,000 or something like that. I would love to pick up just an A7R2, like a second-hand one, or even something that's open box and just play with that. Because it's still a great camera. The A7 is an older model, but it's still a beautiful camera, right? Even the 2 series or the 3 series. So, but anyways, guys, that's it. If you ever get a chance, I bought this. It wasn't sent to me. I got nothing. None of this stuff that I'm doing today is free, or I received for free. I bought everything. I bought the Neewer. My camera was bought. The lens I bought. I love this lens. The battery I bought. The fans I bought. So my total investment to basically remedy my situation was about $130. That's with the mic that I can use somewhere else. So the $130 just saved me almost $1,000 in terms of buying a new camera to do what I need to do here. And I love this lens. You can see it's a gorgeous lens, and it takes great quality. But that's it, guys. If there's any questions, look for the 2 links. If you guys are interested in the software to do this hack and make it work, look at the link down below. I've got you can go and do it. It works great, guys. I'm doing this right now, and it's shot over half an hour already. So, and this thing's nice and cold. The fan works really well. This is a little loud. Anyways, guys, have a great one. Enjoy. I'm gonna be launching hopefully the 3D printing 101 third part, maybe tonight or tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy. Peace. Respect.